Emily, thank you. The landmark trial in the alleged wrongful death lawsuit of a 19-year-old with Down syndrome now underway in Outagamie County Court.
Grace Shara died at Ascension Health St. Elizabeth Hospital in Appleton in 2021. She was brought in after contracting COVID-19. The healthcare provider has denied any wrongdoing and previously requested the lawsuit be tossed out. Jason Zimmerman has been keeping an eye on jury selection. It began this morning. He's live in Appleton with an update. Jason.
County jury selection is still underway at this hour, so that means opening statements aren't likely to take place until sometime tomorrow. I should also mention this is the first wrongful death jury trial in the entire country for a death listed as COVID-19 on the death certificate. This is a story we've been following for years, and right now you're seeing video from a rally in support of 19-year-old Grace Shara that took place in April of 2022 outside Ascension, Northeast Wisconsin's St. Elizabeth Hospital in Appleton. Shara, who family members say was not vaccinated, was brought to the hospital when her family says her symptoms of COVID-19 intensified. Days later, she passed away. However, her family says her death was not caused by COVID. Rather, they allege it was the medication she was given in a do not resuscitate order, which they claim no one from the family ever signed. The trial, expected to last up to 3 weeks, will examine allegations of negligence, lack of informed consent, and medical battery, according to Grace's father, Scott. Attorneys for Ascension Health filed a response to those allegations, saying the hospital denies each and every one of the family's claims and says Grace Shara's medical records speak for themselves. The documents also say Shara's condition may have been the result of a naturally progressing disease, a pre-existing condition, or a superseding or intervening cause that was beyond the hospital staff's control. Judge Mark McGinnis will preside over this trial. Cameras are not being allowed inside the courtroom, but the media is being allowed to watch from a Zoom link in a nearby overflow room, as a large crowd is expected throughout this trial. Reporting live in Appleton, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.